how do you create a world-class customer experience? Because in today's world with social media and the way things move, that first element of, if we don't get it right at the customer level and create that value proposition, that compelling reason to be here, to stop in the branch, come in the store, go online, create that exchange and experience, that's number one. Then number two, how do we leverage scale? And everybody has scale in some dimension. If it's size or if it's technology, resource, how do we leverage scale? And then number three, how do you think about this world of the digital and physical world coming together? And what does it mean to our business model? And how do we live in that world with this transformation? And finally, how do we innovate and differentiate? And if I look at the discussions when we provide the insights and get into strategy, I can really think about those kind of four key elements of the conversations we have. And then the last thing I would just comment on this part is, today what's really complex is how do you have a management team that has the skills to maximize the current business model. So the current business model today, how do you maximize that business model? And not just think about the future, but at the exact same time, put the same energy and resources into what is the business model of the future and how we transition in that future world. And there's very few teams that are really good at doing both of those simultaneously.
We also have to play offense and think about technologies both from a risk mitigation perspective, but also how we can seize these opportunities to fundamentally transform our business models or to create new business models. It's a rare person, a rare leader who can both play defense and offense. It's true on the football field, it's true on management teams, but that's what we have to find, are people who can keep the core business running, be really good at efficiency optimizations, but also strive to see around corners and really think about how these technologies are going to change. I think that people is number one. Number two is creating culture, a culture around the innovation mindset. And I mean, the board isn't going to come up with a winning strategy, but we have to create an environment where making the right bets is rewarded, even if not all of those bets pay off. And this is a very Silicon Valley mindset that we're starting to see now really pervade into the Fortune 500.
Because they're used to making billion-dollar bets and thinking about things, and they're living in this future world as opposed to what we're operating in today. And it's been a really great dynamic to have the balance across the board members, former CEO of Coca-Cola, former CEO of Pepsi, young entrepreneurs, and you bring all that blend together, and you get some rich dialogue, and you can really help management with some insights. But you can't run the business, and you can't execute the plan. Part of the learning process from a board member is you may have people on the board that may do a particular task really well, but the real learning from a board member is when you give that task to management and you see how they do it, and then you come back with the results, and then you help manage through the process. And so I think sometimes people want to give them an answer. I'm more interested in how do they think about it? What's their process? Where do they come back to? And what do I learn about the individual and the organization? And then how do you provide some insights to help massage and maybe transform that a little bit? But I think as being a board member, you have to learn to ask questions versus give answers.
Board members need to themselves, just like you, understand all of these changes that are happening. And I think, in the past, there may have been a tendency on some boards, some management teams to say, oh, that technology goes to that director, or it's our CIO's role to think about technology. Well, actually, no, technology has now pervaded the entire value chain and every step of the customer life cycle. And so every board member, every person on the management team, and arguably the company, needs to personally grasp these changes.
We will see a significant transformation in director background and experiences that will strengthen the oversight and the insights that boards can bring for the betterment of the companies and the capital markets.
If you go into a boardroom and dissent is not allowed, that in fact everything has to be a unanimous vote, and if it's not a unanimous vote, we must paint one person in the corner and you can't dissent. How do you handle dissent? Do you see dissent as being okay or not okay?
Well, I think it's crucial. I mean, board members aren't doing their jobs, or you have the wrong board if everyone always has a unanimous point of view on things.